It's time to hog the airwaves with bikers' first-hand adventures across the country. Ride with us. Keep yourself informed on issues, events, and everything else bikers want to know.
Wow, hey there. Get off your motorcycle. Come on in.
All right, so here we go. How you doing, Barry?
Pretty good, brother. You got the real plug plugged in there?
Yeah, we're live and pre-recorded.
Holy cow, I don't know what to think about that. I'm driving down the road.
That's cool, man. So, hey, look, let's talk a little bit about how we first met.
We were intoxicated. How do you remember?
Yeah, I remember. I remember you guys came over to the Buffalo Chip, and we got a little crazy.
No, I'm kidding. We did. But then when Rogue and I flew out to California, that was a good meeting. That's the one where we really got down with it.
Yeah, we did. You guys got in our we did a little piece on the movie with you guys, and tell a story about the Jay Leno thing when I introduced you to Jay.
Well, what happened was I had built a motor for him and never got to meet him, and I was trying to replicate, not reproduce, but replicate his Bruff Superior, and he has one of the Bruff Superiors that Lawrence of Arabia had. And so they sent me some pictures, and I'm trying to use it, so I have to end up using a knucklehead motor, and I put it on a nose cone lower end that we carved all up, and then we sent that to my favorite friends and yours, the bike.
The Orange County assholes?
I'm being kind to you.
Yeah, which none of their shit worked. The only thing that Jay Leno said worked on the whole bike was your motor.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to do any politicking.
I heard that.
Went to the love ride. You and I went over there, and I asked him how his knucklehead motor that I built for him was doing, and one thing led to another, so you remember all the rest of that.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, man. And hey, so let's go a little further back, man. Let's talk a little bit about back in the day when you some of the bike building shows with Indian Larry and Billy Lane.
Yeah, well, I was living in Alaska, and when I moved down here, this is all by accident. I met Billy's brother Warren, and man, we just instantly had a groove on. I mean, we were doing all kind of fun stuff. He was a knucklehead nut, and so I got to meet Billy through Warren, and then he was just as much fun with all the motorcycles and the engines. So I had done a few projects with Billy, off camera, fun stuff, crazy builds, his imagination. And so when the biker build-offs came around, Billy picked me to do one, and then and I did his camel bike, the camel knuckle, and then Indian Larry, good engine builder, did all that. Larry really didn't hire me to do anything he couldn't do. He hired me what he didn't have the time to do. I mean, these shows are just crunched, man. I mean, you really build a motorcycle in 10 freaking days, or trash out that quick. So I was able to do several motors for Indian Larry, and then working with Keno and Paul Cox, and then Billy, and then Russell Mitchell, and then Jesse James, and it just kept coming. And I loved it. I've had wonderful opportunities to be a little boy who used to dream of it down there in Nowhereville, Louisiana, on a dirt road and barefoot, to have ended up building for a lot of my peers that I truly, I just admire them, and got to meet my heroes. I mean, I got to meet a lot of mentors, I would say, more mentors than heroes.
Well, you deserve it, dude. And hey, how did you get the idea for the Outlaw 120 Pan that I famously wrote the cool song for you and everything?
Absolutely, you actually did do that.
So, hey, how'd you get the idea for that?
Still one of my favorites. Well, everybody started going big inch crazy, and I don't want to get too technical here, but there's only so much you can do with the stock configuration cases and heads that we all grew up with. You can go after 3 13/16. I don't like to go over a 4.5-inch stroke with a 7/440 rod because the rod to stroke ratio. I told you to get a little weird here. And the compressions and this, and so I went, man, I gotta build me a big pan head. So at the time, Lou Trachtenberg, STD, had developed some of this stuff, but he had passed away. And one of the guys that worked there, I started working with him. They came out with these generator, alternator, high deck cases for me. I could pop a 4 1/8-inch bore, so I made up some 80 series ductile iron cylinders, 4 1/8, and then they did the big bore heads. And so I'm going, man, I can make a reliable 120 cubic inch pan head. Who would have thought of that? Using a 7.960 rod, connecting rod, and 9-to-1 compression. you can kickstart these things, but you need to have your wits about you when you do it. It ain't your daddy's panhead.
Yeah, I heard that.
But, man, you talk about cool. And so then I realized, hey, there's enough room in the bottom of this. We can start squirting the bottom of the pistons. So we put in piston oilers like the twin cams have. And just one thing led to another, so we started using correction on the rocker arm geometries and doing that when we built the roller rockers and stuff. And so Keith Ball grabs one of these motors. Actually, I have to send it to him. And we went to Bonneville, and on one pass went 161 miles an hour with an old leaky panhead. Pretty cool.
Yeah, man. And later on, we brought a Murph, Playboy Murph, and fixed her up like the artwork that was on the fender, and we duplicated that the photo shoot. We did a photo shoot, and we put the red wig on her and the little green bikini. I mean, a bathing suit, and it got pretty close, man. You remember the machine gun out here by Dennis on his property, that big tank that he had with the machine gun? We brought that over to Keith Ball, and we got pretty close to making it look just like that, man.
Do I remember? I've never met a machine gun. I don't remember.
Hey, let's talk a little bit about guns, man. I know you love guns, dude. Let's talk a little bit about some of the weaponry you got.
Well, right now, what I've been doing, this goes back some years, but I've got off into this revolver hunting. And, man, I am a freak about it. I've killed buffalo, deer, and, yes, wild turkey with a deadgum handgun, a revolver. And the thing about it is, Charlie, you can go deer hunting, and, man, you can get skunked. You come out of the woods, you've got nothing. But with that sidearm, with that revolver strapped on your side, you're still the coolest-looking sucker coming out of the woods.
Yeah, you are.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, Daniel Boone would love that.
Yeah, I started taking, when I do these engines or these motorcycles, I borrow a lot from the gunsmiths or the gun artisans, those wonderful craftsmen with the engravings and the different cosmetics they use and fitments and stuff. And then I like building my own guns too. But what I do is I modify an existing gun because I'm not a manufacturer, so I have to start with an existing numbered frame. And then I just chop them, man. I just bob chop them. You know what I mean? And that's what I hunt with. And I have quite a collection, a big collection. In fact, I just finished one for Gypsy recently, and she's grouping at 50 yards. We have an 8-inch plate that we shoot at, which is our kill zone, and she's hitting an 8-inch plate at 50 yards. We do our own bullets, and she's just smoking these things. So, but I shoot a 475 line ball, 45 Colts, 41 Magnum, 500s, 460s. I've got a 308 pistol, 308 rifle round. So.
Well, now, folks, he mentioned Gypsy, and if all my listeners out there that don't know, Gypsy used to work for the Thunder Press, and she's a female bike builder. And she was the first lady to be on the cover of Easy Rider. And tell a little bit about, you guys did the last bike build before it got closed down, and I guess they tried to do a couple other things. But you guys were the last one. I was there and played the party with Billy Lane and everybody, and it was pretty cool. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, man, we brought you over here to play for her party. Remember that she hadn't seen her uncle or her mom in 10 years, and we had them flown in. His uncle came in from England, had her mom flown in. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. I remember all of it, dude. It was cool as hell, man. I got the picture here on my wall with me sitting outside with Jim Owens, and we'll talk a little bit about that later, but Billy Lane and everybody out there, and, man, I got pictures of it, and it's pretty, man, we had a great time, man. I got to play the song I wrote for Billy Lane at your party. It was just amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Fond moments, fond memories. But Vivian, Gypsy, she gets, I get a phone call one day from Billy Lane. He says, hey, Gypsy's fixing to be in the biker build-off, and Hugh wants to know how he can get in touch with her. So he gave me Hugh's phone number. I called Hugh, and then I called Gypsy, and I said, you really need to come here because we have a pretty nice facility here. You need to come here and build that motorcycle and really throw down on it. And that's what she did. Slap. And what a lot of people don't know, she drew that motorcycle. Man, I can't even draw a stick, man, brother.
And that was called the bitch slap, right?
That's a bitch slap, yep. And that's what they got. That's what the competitors got with it, too. But, yeah, she won it.
Yeah, and that was your first one you really was on all of it, man. I mean, it wasn't like you just built the motor and, watched it on TV. You were there the whole time wrenching. I remember at the last hour or something, man, you guys were around that thing like it was some patient that had a heart attack, and you guys were the ambulance that just jumped in.
Oh, yeah. Well, during the build, I took her out one night, and we were riding, and we were carving some corners pretty hard. And I get through the corner. I've been through it 500 or 600 times because I live here. And I get through the corner, and I look back, and no headlight. And I knew what had happened. I turn around, I go back, and well, there it is. There's the wadded-up motorcycle. Well, she broke her wrist, and this is 3 days before we start the biker build-off. And so we go to the hospital. We get all that taken care of. She's in a cast. That's why she shows up in a cast during the build.
That's right.
And then during the build, everybody leaves me, and there's of all things, a Sportster sitting on a lift underneath the door. Well, I get mad. I'm left, probably 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I got to be back at 7. I reach over and grab the shock absorber of the Sportster and just jerk it out from under the door, and I pull my bicep off. I disconnect, and it rolls up into my elbow.
You guys were under a lot of stress. I mean, when we went out there, we were freaking on how much stress you guys were on.
Yeah, it was brutal. Well, that's what happened, you know. We didn't buy anything, Charlie. Here's what we did. Corey Ness just came out with a set of wheels, and he sent them to us, but they weren't finished. And we didn't build the tires. But even the cables we built.
Right.
The grips, the foot peg, we built it. All the antique stuff on there had to be disassembled, torn apart, rebushed. We built the whole motorcycle.
All made out of Southern pride.
Vivian Truitt and Bill Dodge did the frame, and he sent that to us, and just everything else. And then I had the bright idea of, let's use 2 rear heads on the knucklehead. Oh, my God, you know.
Yeah, but you did it, man, and it came out killer, man, and you guys beat, what was it, Kim Suter?
I think that's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
I'm joking, Kim.
His bike blew up or something when you guys were riding or so, I don't know, but, hey, it was cool, dude. Hey, so let's talk a little bit about Jim Owens and the Banditos. Folks, the connection I got with the Banditos now, and I wrote the Banditos song and got to be good friends with them and broke down a barrier where I'm good friends with all the Hells Angels and also now the Banditos and everybody. I got no problems. Everybody kind of digs my music, and they know that I'm not trying to cause any trouble, so I get to go around and that was all Barry Warlow's hookup. His friend Jim Owens from Shreveport, Louisiana. They asked me to come down and play, and at first I was kind of freaked out because I live here in California, and I was like, that ain't going to work out. I got all them Hells Angels songs, and Barry and Jim persuaded me to come down, and I'm sure glad I did because everything worked out cool, man. Tell us a little bit about that, dude.
Well, I've known Jim since, I was 17 years old. I lived a pretty good bit of my youthful life, and when I started riding Harley Davidsons, I was living in Shreveport, Louisiana, and so there were a lot of Banditos there, and and I was in the motorcycle business doing what I did, so that's who you knew. And Jim, I just always had a great respect for him, and quite frankly, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And we can't talk about that on the.
No, we can't. But hey, I tell you what, I'm sure glad you hooked me up, dude, because I'm going to in November to the Lone Star Rally in Galveston, and the Banditos are all going to be there. They got a bike for me to ride. It's pretty cool shit. They got a pickup band that knows the Bandito song, and I just go in and play with them and stuff, so it's going to be pretty cool. I'm going to be going live on my radio show and everything, and yeah, it's cool, dude. So, hey, look, what are you doing now? What's Barry Warlow doing now?
Oh, well, we all know that the motorcycle business is in the toilet.
That's true.
I got an important phone call coming on the other line, but they'll just have to wait, right, Charlie?
Yeah, we're almost done, though. Just.
How was that, man? How was that? I'm doing a corporate on hold thing.
Folks, important phone calls don't matter with Good Time Charlie and BIC.
Exactly. They'll have to wait. So they didn't know I was in the interview. So where were we, brother?
So I just wanted to, before we ended, tell everybody what you're doing now. What's Barry doing now?
Where am I right now? Well, since the motorcycle business is in the toilet, honestly, it feels like 1979, 1980 to me. I've been through it before. We just had a great 17-year run, and it's all tapered down. So we've all pulled back like a lot of people, but we're still going. The real thing is I almost have too much work, Charlie. That's where I am. And one of the things that you and I have discussed in the past, and this is it, I can't find quality, passionate help. That's the crazy part. I don't know where they are. I don't know what happened. But a lot of people come on about the romance, and then after a while they realize, heck, this is a job. Yeah, it's a job.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, I'm sure you'll find the right people, dude. It's good people and hard work. It all finds itself. It all works itself out. And I just want to tell you, brother, I am so proud of you, man, and it's an honor to be your friend.
Oh, you too, bro. You too. You know that. But what I'm doing is I've just pulled back, and I'm doing a lot of rebuilds, and I'm doing some really crazy engines, and we're going back to Bonneville with another dual rear head knucklehead.
Now, is that with Keith Ball again?
Now it's going to be me and Gypsy, 2013.
Wow. So, hey, I'll try to get out there and go film that, man.
Oh, yeah, I hope you're there.
Yeah.
I've got some new products coming out, and our new website should be up, I hope, within the next 4 or 5 weeks, and it is really nice. Shows a lot of what we can do as far as restorations, rebuilds, and then designing new engines, and then also some really cool products, and maybe a gun or two.
All right, well, look, when you get that website up, I'll link it to the BIC thing and put it all over my Facebook pages. And thank you for being on the show, brother. I love you, man.
Love you too, brother. You know that.
All right, so what's that saying about Dothan, Alabama and the sheep?
Oh, Dothan, Alabama, where men are men and there ain't no sheep?
All right, brother, I love you. Hey, you take it easy today, all right?
Well, we changed it, Charlie.
What is it?
We're Dothan, Alabama, where you don't lose your lady, you just lose your turn.
All right, love and respect, Barry. Folks, that was Barry Warlow from Accurate Engineering back in the day. Me and him had some good times drinking some of that moonshine, Alabama moonshine. So you guys get back to the show, and I'll see y'all in a little bit. All right, Barry, thanks, brother.
All right, I love you, man.
All right, I'll send you to YouTube as soon as I get it up, all right?
All right, brother.
All right, bye.